Linux! Look, what do you want from me? It's tradition at this point, because we're already 3 videos deep through our dive into the many flavors of open source operating systems, and you know what? I'm already feeling kind of superior to everyone else here at the office using their silly little MacBooks.
I need you to low Dutch angle. Yes.
I'm kidding, of course, but only because I haven't had the chance to use Arch yet, by the way. So far, we've dipped our tips into Bazzite, CachyOS, Zorin, and a handful of others, all based on either Fedora or Ubuntu with varying levels of success. But I've seen you all screaming at the top of your finger lungs in the comments telling me I have to try CachyOS, and I'll admit, I was actually saving this one for a little later, because if it really is as good as all of you make it out to be, what would I even make the next video about? But the voices just kept getting louder, so here we are, sitting with a fresh copy of the heavily performance-tuned Arch variant, and honestly, I thought it was going to be a whole lot scarier. Every forum I scoured told me to stay away from anything Arch-based as a Linux neophyte, but CachyOS just kept popping up as this sort of outlier, where the overwhelming consensus seems to be, oh yeah, that one's pretty good, from the same people who were warning you just 3 posts up. So, let's take a step back here. Could 2026 finally be the year of Linux? You know, I just had to get one of those in, but it's also not unreasonable to say that interest in Linux is at an all-time high with the release of the Steam machine and, more importantly, SteamOS, which, in case you didn't know, is also based on Arch, by the way. Valve seemingly opened the floodgates to a whole new wave of enthusiasm that gamers might finally be free of Satya Nadella's ever-watchful gaze. Best of all, Gaben's gift to humanity is completely free. All you need is a USB stick and a dream. Unless you have an NVIDIA card, that is, then frick you, I guess. Just like a lot of the other Linuxes out there, there's a distinct lack of native NVIDIA support in Valve's offering, at least for the time being, which is a real shame because Steam's own hardware survey shows that over 70% of its users are still rocking Team Green's offerings. I don't blame them for it either. Valve wants to make a good first impression because they know they're about to be many gamers' first affair with something other than Windows, and unfortunately, that meant sticking to AMD and Intel in order to ensure a mostly flawless experience. So where does that leave everyone with some Jensen memorabilia taking up an extra slot in their computer? CachyOS more than capable hands, of course. CachyOS ships every package optimized for your CPU, compiled with x86-64-v3/v4 and Zen 4 instructions, LTO and PGO, on top of a custom kernel with the tuned EEVDF scheduler. Now, do I know what most of that means? No, but it's a direct quote from their website. In fact, it's one of the first things you see when you open up the page, and that's where they put all the important stuff. Jokes aside, that's exactly what you get from Cachy, a highly tuned, performance-focused distro that'll handle just about any hardware you throw at it and lick its lips afterwards. I actually downgraded the GPU in this dedicated Office Linux PC from the mighty 5080 to the tried and tested RTX 3060 Ti just to see how far all those optimizations can actually take me. And also, more importantly, to piss off that one guy in the comments who keeps telling me I have to use an AMD GPU. Yeah, this one's for you. I don't like your comments. Considering it's still a highly popular choice amongst gamers, being just shy of the top 10 in Steam's most recent hardware survey, it felt like a solid enough choice to slap in here. Now, I just want to put this one out there. I'm a field chaser, not a frame chaser. So if you ever see me playing a game with an FPS counter on and I'm not currently doing some intensive benchmarking, pull the trigger, no hesitation, because that's a skinwalker.
First appearance I did.
For me, the ultimate test of a Linux distribution that'll finally get me to stick is the one that works so flawlessly that I never have to pull up those 3-letter numbers in order to troubleshoot anything. Now, nothing goes together like Linux fanboys and troubleshooting, I know, but a close second is definitely Linux fanboys and beefy, honking, massive CPUs. And for some, what comes to mind when I say Threadripper is ripped pants, which is weird, but okay. But yinz know it more like big, strong CPU, and big, strong CPUs need big, strong coolers like one from today's sponsor, Silverstone. The XE360 TR5 V2 is a high-performance triple 120mm AIO that delivers class-leading cooling performance to beefy chips on AMD's SRT5 and SP6 socket. The main improvement on the V2 is the inclusion of Silverstone's OEM FHL120 fans with liquid crystal polymer blades, further increasing cooling capacity. The slim water block design of the XE360 TR5 V2 is achieved through integrating the water pump into the radiator, while the water block itself is nickel-plated copper with a large-size microchannel copper base. A 3-phase 6-pole motor powers the whole operation, while the aluminum alloy cavity pump offers strength to the overall structure. If you already have or are thinking of building a chunky Threadripper system, the Silverstone XE360 TR5 V2 should really be the only AIO in mind. Pick one up for yourself via the link in the description below, and as always, huge thank you to Silverstone for sponsoring today's video. Now back to the Linux! Now, the first thing you'll notice about the CachyOS user experience is that you've got options, all the options when it comes to hardware choice, options when it comes to available software, thanks to services like the AUR, more on that later. It asked me what bootloader, terminal, and even kernel I wanted to use during setup. Of course, I just stuck to the defaults to get the experience closest to what the devs intended, but heck, it even had the most desktop environment options out of any distro I've ever installed. Of course, I stuck to KDE Plasma because I'm basic like that, but at this point, I know what I like. The best part is that you can have all these options with none of the bloat, because yes, while they're easily available at the click of a button, Cachy won't install anything until you specifically tell it to. I'm looking at you, Microsoft. On first boot, you're greeted by CachyOS Hello, a surprisingly competent welcoming utility that gives you quick access to pretty much everything you'll need to get it up and running. Be prepared for an onslaught of nagging notifications because with Arch's rolling release schedule, you'll see a pop-up several times a day telling you about all the updates you currently have waiting to be installed. They didn't forget about us gamers either, because under the apps and tweaks section, they have a one-click button to install gaming packages, getting you set up with Steam, Hero Launcher, Lutris, as well as their own custom version of Proton featuring some really handy quality of life tweaks like enhanced controller support and latency improvements in certain titles. While they do recommend keeping Valve's stock version of Proton as the global default, I failed to find a single game that didn't work with the custom CachyOS variant right out of the box. Speaking of games working, I threw my usual suite of them at the wall to see what would stick, and I genuinely could not get anything modern to not work, outside of known titles with all of their Linuxy anti-cheat shenanigans. Did all these games suddenly receive Linux patches all at once, or is CachyOS just a straight-up goat? VR was also a breeze this time. Shout out to the one guy in the comments who recommended ALVR for Linux. That worked infinitely better than trying to run things through Steam VR directly. The writers for the car channel and I clocked in a good couple of hours on Automobilista 2's racetracks without a single hiccup. Not so subtle plug, go check out our UFD Garage channel for all our car-related content. On the software side of things, you have a pretty stacked lineup here with the choice between CachyOS's curated lists. Flatpak, which I know some of you have very strong opinions on, and of course, the almighty AUR. For those of you who don't know, the AUR, or Arch User Repository, is a community-maintained software library filled with pretty much everything you can imagine. It's part of the reason why Arch is considered both a compatibility powerhouse and also something for Linux newbies to avoid. It's a bit of a double-edged sword. Since it's a user source repository, anyone is free to submit their little homebrew drivers that magically get your 20-year-old printer speaking Linux. But naturally, that comes with some inherent risks. You never know what some nefarious Fedora glazer is going to poison the well with. Recently, CachyOS has drawn the ire of many Arch purists for coming bundled with AUR helpers, which makes browsing and downloading a simple scroll and click. Now, a tool that makes things easier doesn't sound like a bad thing, right? But people argue that the widespread use of helpers is exactly what contributed to the massive malware infestation going undiscovered for months, where over 1,000 community-maintained packages were compromised. Not gonna lie, I did use CachyOS's built-in helpers because my reasoning was someone endlessly more knowledgeable than me has surely done all the due diligence that I was supposed to do in order to make sure it's all safe, right? Well, apparently that's exactly what everyone else was doing too. After the initial news broke, I immediately went full scorched earth, wiped the system, updated passwords, etc. Now, nuking the entire PC might seem like overkill because all I grabbed were a few Elgato software alternatives to get my equipment working on Linux, but I wasn't taking any chances. I didn't want to have to make that "our channel got hacked" apology video because some 24/7 live stream video of Elon Musk was shilling Bitcoin. Suddenly, those big old warning signs surrounding Arch started making sense again after hitting a little too close to home. After backtracking to a point of safety, I started again because I wasn't going to let this little scare put me off of using CachyOS or Arch as a whole, by the way. I'm just going to treat it with the caution that I admittedly should have given it from the get-go. CachyOS feels like that exciting sports car that'll kill you if you take your hand hands off the wheel for even a second versus something like Linux Mint, which is the tried and true Toyota Corolla that your uncle has had since the 90s with over 1 million miles on it. Hashtag UFD Garage, shameless plug once again. Overall, though, I genuinely feel like CachyOS is leagues above any of the other distros I've tried so far. I can see why it comes so highly recommended by all of you. I like it in here. For the first time in a long time, I feel like I'm right where I'm supposed to be. If I didn't have a plethora of niche content creator focused applications with no Linux alternatives, I'd absolutely be daily driving this as my new operating system. It's now my personal #1 choice if I have to slap Linux on anything. And speaking of, that's exactly what I plan to do next. Since CachyOS has a dedicated handheld build, I'm going to throw it head to head against SteamOS and Bazzite to see which one ultimately leaves the arena alive in my hands. But that'll be a future video. For now, if you have any suggestions for your favorite Linux distro that you want us to check out next, feel free to drop it in the comments down below. But just know, if any of you say Hannah Montana Linux, I'm gonna rotate your kneecaps.